In a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover.
No, easy, hold on.
As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them. As America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against the culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how.
What the fuck?
By refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
Buzzin', what is up with Tarantino, man?
What?
What happened to him?
People say I got a real twisted sense of humor.
He looks like he should be on the back of a $10 bill.
Oh my God.
Royce Lopez.
I don't know what it is about him.
Hola, me llamo Royce.
Maybe I'm sick of hearing about him.
Yeah, I don't like hot hair.
Maybe it's his face. He's a punchable face.
You wouldn't download a pig, would you?
He's done nothing to me. He's probably a nice guy.
I don't care.
I don't know what it is about the guy.
Big Cranberry has been lying to you.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards Alex Jones, these two men have joined forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast.
He looks like he should be flying a kite with a fucking key on it. Brendan says he hasn't been able to use the N-word for a while. That's the source of his youth.
Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time. Here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce.
Before we start, you got a bigger chair?
Now I need accommodations.
Do you have
Hang
a
on,
sofa
I gotta get Royce a
can drag?
couch. Pull it across the room.
I was showing Marie that yesterday. She didn't see the clip, and she was howling. And I was like, I know. The fucking chirp. Listen, the couch thing is great, but the fact
Chirp
that
was next level.
we were the first show to find the chirp. Nobody else found. There was nobody caught it. We found the chirp. So I just want to say that I'm an avid bird watcher, ceiling bird watcher.
Congratulations, you have white people ears.
Thank you, Mersh. That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. It's like they said, in 2016, they said that there would be consequences to turning Cubans white, and here it is. They're all fucking Republicans, and they're doing country music now. Shit's fucking wild.
Oh, good. Breaking news.
Oh, bow, 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 bow.
Another plane crash.
What the fuck?
Where? What happened? What kind?
A Boeing fighter jet just crashed in San Diego.
Fighter jet?
A fighter jet?
Yeah.
What? What?
What? Like an F-16
Boeing.
or some shit?
No,
I don't know.
An EA-18G Growler. I never heard of it.
What was the pilot?
Yeah, neither did I.
What was the female pilot's name?
We'll find out eventually. I'm sure.
It's gonna be a female pilot. I'm going to assume.
Yeah, it crashed into the water, I guess. So that's good.
Definitely a female pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll crash into nothing.
Like
Her
honestly, at
name
least
was
it
not
crashed into the
Fisher
fucking
Green.
water.
Yeah. Maybe she had one of those pregnant flight suits that have been going around. Look, I don't know. Listen, obviously we have no idea if the pilot's male or female, but it's going to be female. And later on, we could just clip this together and be like, "Oh, we predicted it," but it's pretty obvious.
Well, pilots are all right, and they landed in the water and they didn't fucking kill anybody this time. So that's a plus, right?
Is the pilot all right? Is it a guy or a girl? Do we know?
We don't know.
Fuck. Okay.
We'll know. We'll know within a day or two.
Good.
Royce, it's the internet. We'll find out.
Okay, can I tell you, by the way, today's a locals episode, so if you're watching the free part of this or listening to the free part of this, The first 15 or so minutes are going to be free, but after that, we go behind the Locals and Patreon paywall. That's revengeofthesist.locals.com and patreon.com/we're not sorry. $7 a month. You get this and half of Friday shows and our movie riffs. You get all that. And by the way, now if you're listening via podcast, I'm also putting up a clip, like probably a little longer than 15 minutes, but a clip for the podcast listening people. And if you want to hear we put up the entire audio version of this too for the Locals and Patreon that people want to listen via podcast can get it there too. So if you're listening to it on the normal RSS feed, just subscribe to Patreon or to Locals and you can listen to the whole thing audio. It works pretty well actually. Both of them.
And don't forget, Locals and Patreon subscribers, you get to ask us all of your burning questions for Friday.
Thank you for reminding me.
You're
yes.
welcome.
So if you're on Patreon, you're on Locals. There's a pin post on both. Ask away, ask questions, and honestly, I know we talked about this too. If there's any like videos that you think that we missed that you want us to cover, we'll look through them. If they're worth doing, we'll do them in the second hour. So send them over. We try to. I think we do a pretty good job between Virgie, Pessy, and Frozen. We have not only a good amount of stories, but all three of them. They don't really overlap each other because they send very specific kind of prep, right? Like they have their own. So look, at the moment it's like police corruption. I'm like, that's Virgie. That's a Virgie story.
Yeah.
Fuck the cops. That's Virgie. If it's like a magical unicorn to join the basketball team, that's Pessy for sure. That's Pessy found it, and he's like, dude, you'll never fucking guess. That's a Pessy story. And anything else is pretty much Frozen. He's just a machine. By the way, I talked to him today. He's sick as fuck. He has that norovirus thing.
He said something in my chat the other night.
He has that norovirus thing, and I talked to him, and he was like, because I haven't heard from him.
If Frozen doesn't show up for Daywave, you know he's fucked.
Yeah, if Asians always show up for work, whether you pay them or not. You know,
it's weird.
Mersh. Good news because I know you like his voice. Tom Holman. Oh. By the way, we got a lot of love for that Holman and RFK thing.
Esteban didn't like it very much.
Well, he was drunk.
Yeah, dude.
He was drunk.
Well, I have to have an intervention for you.
Virgie, unless you're saying that to a mirror, don't. Tom Holman. Guys,
we got a lot of illegals cutter.
Okay,
gotta get these motherfuckers.
So the Pope says that it's not Christian to be for mass deportation. So
I want to make it very clear. I'm not above arresting the Pope. All right, if the Pope gets away and we get rid of illegals, he can go to prison. I'll put him in prison too. You imagine,
Mr. Holman? Did you say you're going to put the Holy Father into prison?
I absolutely said I'll put anybody in prison if you get in my way. If you're gonna make illegals in this country, I'll put you in jail.
But he doesn't live in America. I don't think we could
extradite him from the Vatican.
We get him like remember when Batman went to China to pull the fucking guy.
Oh, and he skyhooked him.
Exactly. We
skyhooked the Pope. He would literally die immediately.
Of course.
He would die immediately.
Just a tug.
Oh, God, we tore the Pope in half. Oh, Jesus, God, that's not going to look good. That's going to look real bad on international news.
His feet stay on the ground like a cartoon.
God, we just meat hooked the Pope on live television.
Listen, we got most of the popes. We should get partial credit, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, let's see what Holman has to say.
I got harsh words for the Pope. Pope won't fix the Catholic Church. I'm saying this as a lifelong Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I was First Communion as a Catholic. Confirmation as a Catholic. He ought to fix the Catholic Church and concentrate on his work and leave border enforcement to us. He wants to attack us from securing our border. He's got a wall around the Vatican, does he not? So he's got a wall around to protect his people and himself, but we can't have a wall around the United States. So I wish he'd stick to the Catholic Church and fix that and leave border enforcement to us.
He's the best. I love him.
I enjoy Holman. He's such a he's so robotic.
But he's like if Foghorn Leghorn was running a deportation task force. It's amazing.
He only gives a fuck about one thing.
Yeah, he's a robot.
And I love that.
He's a robot. He only cares about that. He doesn't care about any of the policy. I don't even think he voted. I don't think he cares. I think he's a guy
that forgets to eat sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he strikes me as that guy where they're like, Tom, have you had lunch today? Oh, no, I totally forgot. I haven't had anything to eat all day. All I've been thinking about is catching all these goddamn illegals.
Speaking of which, you want to get tacos?
You know what Homan reminds me? Homan reminds me of a boss ghost from Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah. So,
like, he's got one gimmick.
So,
I get all my tacos from Taco Bell. It's the only tacos I need.
They're still made by Mexicans. So, at least over here.
Blacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here it's blacks.
Okay.
It's blacks here.
Mersh and I were talking about the director of government oversight.
Jesus
This is great. Guys, come on. For real. Calm down. This is really, if you haven't seen this.
This is great optics.
If you haven't seen this.
Literally great optics.
It feels not real. It feels like we're in a cartoon, right? Like, I don't even know how to explain. I thought this was a bit. I thought this is like, you know what I thought? Like Danny Polishuk doing a bit. Like, it's a good bit. Think about the bit, right?
It does feel like specifically a Danny Polishuk
on
video.
a green screen, on his green screen.
Hi, I'm the director of government oversight.
Director of government oversight. He says that he does. I can't say the sentence, Bert. I can't do it. He says he doesn't see any widespread malicious waste from government spending.
So I had to point out that obviously wearing sunglasses like a blind man while making this statement was not the best optics.
No.
But then I Googled this gentleman.
And, yes, Mersh, go ahead.
He's actually blind.
He's actually blind.
He's actually the guy who doesn't see any widespread government spending is blind.
Didn't you say he wrote for something or
he wrote for a paper called The Braille Monitor.
That must be hard that must be hard to Windex.
It's literally it's a newspaper for blind people.
Guys, if you're just coming in now, we're talking about the director of government oversight.
Oversight.
Oh shit! Hey, we got $100 donation from Goat Explosion. Fuck,
thanks,
man.
buddy.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, yeah.
$100. He says, time to crack. Oh, God. It's $100. I'm going to read it and try not to make fun of you, but he goes, time to crack a Four Loko.
Hell yeah, bro.
And watch this bitch. Woo! Thank you.
It's fine. Those Four Locos ain't shit anymore anyway.
No, it's
Dude, the original ones, though?
Oh,
the original ones were a fucking menace.
They banned the original recipe after it made this guy blind.
Yeah, that's actually how the government. That's correct. He became blind in a Four Loko accident. Some of it he was driving around on an ATV. Obviously, he had a Four Loko. He was an ATV, and the Four Loko spilled in his eyes, and it burned his retinas.
So toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Four Loko and La Cabeza.
They do nothing.
They do not exactly. So now
I remember when they reformulated, when they outlawed the old Four Locos. Like, I'm very libertarian, and I'm usually very like, let adults do what adults want to do. I remember when they banned Four Loko, I was like, yeah, I don't really have a solid argument for not banning Four Loko because I have seen enough psychotic breaks on Four Loko, and that shit was dangerous, bro.
Okay.
Do you guys remember when Four Loko first came out and they also had Juice? Do you guys remember Juice?
Oh, yeah.
J-O-O-S-E?
Yes.
But
And they also had Sparks. I used to like the Sparks.
Hey,
oh my God, I used to drink Sparks in school.
Remember that, Mersh? I'm gonna throw one.
Sparks were
I'm gonna
fire.
throw one back at you, Mersh. Did you ever heard it in a long time? Remember that energy drink Balls?
I remember
They
Balls.
they sponsored us for a little while, way back in the day, way back in like the Fifth Circle.
That's
shit
rad.
days. Yeah, and they sent us like a case of it. It was terrible.
It was really bad.
So anyway, guys, focus on the government of. Listen, guys, I'm not going to turn.
Let's focus on the blind guy who's in charge of overseeing our budget.
Speaking of,
you can't focus on us.
Speaking of my apologies to Blind Mike. He was supposed to be on yesterday, and we forgot. That's on me. He will be on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I confirmed he will be on, okay?
Royce is making him the head of ROTC Oversight Committee.
Yeah, dude. And then Blind Mike was pissed, dude. Like Royce was like, "Look, man, I'm sorry. You know, obviously I had some personal stuff happen yesterday. I was all over the place." And Blind Mike was like, "No fucking excuses."
Yeah, I know. Seriously, he
Absolutely
said
no fucking
He's
excuses.
ever since he got that fucking "Who are these podcasts?" boop, like boasty, like he thinks who the fuck he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Royce was like, "Dude, my grandma died," and he's like, "Fucker, I'm blind."
Yeah, he said, yeah. So he goes, I don't. So let me let's get to the director. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, but we are going to do this on Locals and Patreon exclusively. We're gonna, that's how you do it, guys. If you head over right now to revengeofthesys.locals.com or patreon.com/we're-not-sorry, you could keep watching this episode with no interruption. Pick up right where you left off, and we're going to continue the story. We have a whole bunch of other stuff coming for you. Just hanging with the boys, and also you get half of Friday's episode and our movie riffs. And if you're listening to the podcast version, we're going to cut it off right around here. And again, sign up at those places, and you also get the audio version if that's the way you listen. All right, let's head over there. It's the first thing they get. Oof, I've been holding. I've been holding.
Hell
that.
yeah!
I've been holding that. And I wanted to make sure that only the boys heard that, because now I got to relax. I got to, let loose, kick back, have a little fun.
Can I ask a question really quick? Why is this blind guy named like a Down syndrome person talking about World War II leaders?
No, his name